Hey guys, how's it going? Patrick here again. This week is pretty chill. There isn't too much going on. I'm kind of taking a little bit of a break from the adventures. Um, I'm just on a little walk right now, actually. I went to go see the new Ruth Bader Ginsburg movie, On the Basis of Sex. It was nice, I enjoyed it. Sometimes you forget about how recent major history is in this country. Well, the home country, I should say. I figured that I would use this week to give a little bit of advice about studying abroad and what to look for. I know many of the prospective students probably want to add that to their resume at some point while they're here. So the first thing I would say is don't forget about the little things. If I have to pick one piece of advice that I think would be the most helpful to everyone, is the little things matter. And by the little things, I could mean groceries, the bus schedule, all those little minute day-to-day details that as Americans we're very accustomed to. You know, we all know how the transit works in our hometown or city. We all know which grocery store we're gonna go to and what we're gonna get and how the layout is. It's gonna be these little things that are going to catch you off guard the most. For me, it took me about 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe, before I even felt like I knew how to shop here. I was looking at all the different stores I could, trying to figure out the layout, what means what, tried to prepare. I found recipes online, but even the recipes didn't help because when I was looking for all-purpose flour, I couldn't find all-purpose flour. They had simple flour. I don't need to go on with the example, but I think you get the point. Just be prepared for the little things to be a lot different from what you expected. So the second thing I would say is that in this situation, more than others, you are on your own. When you become a freshman in college, they say, now it's up to you, you're on your own. But, if you go to the right school, you have a support network. There's a whole bunch of other freshmen that are there, and they need help just as much as you do. At WAC, we're lucky enough to have a school where the professors really, really do care. So, you can pop by their offices really any time, and it does make a difference. When you study abroad, however, you lose a lot of your comforts, as I said, but you lose a lot of those safety nets as well. A lot of other schools don't have dorm housing in the same typical way. So for me, I had to jump into apartment-style living, straight up getting my own apartment with roommates I didn't know, and it made a difference. Now, don't get me wrong, I've really enjoyed the challenge, and I have a feeling most of the people who are going to study abroad are ready for a challenge in that way. So I don't think it's going to be as scary as some people think. But this is a new environment with institutions that are much larger than ours. So you're not going to have the same number of nets or support groups, I think is the better word. The same number, as much support as you would at really any American institution. So now point number 3. Travel is going to be more of a hassle than you think it will be. Now, I don't just mean getting into the country or getting out of the country for when you first arrive to your host institution. I mean planning vacations. Easy enough, right? Well, there's a lot more factors to consider. I remember when I was thinking about studying abroad, I had so many ideas in my head, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go to Greece, I'm gonna go to Italy, I'm gonna go to Florence, I'm gonna go to England, I'm gonna go to Scotland. I must have had, a dozen theoretical trips all planned in my head, and I'm not doing most of those. I had to realize that the time I had was more limited than I thought. The budget was certainly more limited than I thought, and now I've got 3 or 4, the 4th is still in the works, that I can definitely do. They're within my budget, and I can plan to get there. This is the time more than any other place where you can travel. You know, the flights are going to be the cheapest they've ever been, especially if you're in Europe, I should say, or if you're in South America. You know, through there's a whole new section of the world that's open to you, and it's really, really important that you take advantage of it. But you also have to be reasonable. You know, I would recommend that anyone who's going to study abroad should try to plan as much as they're traveling in advance as they can. This will help when you get here, because you're going to have so many new things to deal with, that at least if you can plan in your schedule, you know, I can make this trip, then at least you have something going for you. Me, I did not do that. I had some loose ideas, but I got here, I settled in, you know, and then the internet is a wonderful thing, and I planned the trips that I wanted to go on. So, I think the best way to end it would be this piece of advice. This is your semester to have fun. I know I don't want to scare you with any of the previous advice that I gave, but it's important to know that things are going to be very different. And the shock is going to hit you more than you expect. But, with all that said, this is the semester to take it easy, to have fun. Don't schedule too much in terms of classes. Schedule what you need. You know, have a plan. I want to get these distributions done, and I can get this course for my major done. That's a perfect way to set it up. You know, make sure your schedule isn't too intense. For me, I had Fridays off for the first half of the semester, and so that has allowed me to travel so much more than I would have had I had to worry about Friday classes. Some schools will let you pick the time, some will not, but if you can, try to take it easy. And remember that this is the chance that you get to explore and have an adventure of your own.